This is part 2 of my video on this topic. Be sure to check out part 1 if you want, but you don't need to watch that one to understand this one. In Australia, cattle would have to be fed grain for 60 days to be considered grain-fed. But because of Australia's massive amount of grazing land, cattle spends about 85 to 90% of their time in pastures anyway. Some cattle will still eat grain, usually only if the pasture is poor and their feed needs supplementing. Grass-fed beef has a yellower fat, so some cattle are grain-finished to give the meat white fat, meaning they are fattened up on grain before they are slaughtered. Cattle can be certified grass-fed, meaning that it has never eaten grains, by the Pasture-Fed Cattle Assurance System, or PCAS. If you want your beef to have never eaten grain, look out for this label. Woolworths and Coles have their own grass-fed standards, which they claim are based on the PCAS standards with the same requirements. Aldi grass-fed beef, on the other hand, may not truly be grass-fed, as feed may be supplemented with grain if pastures are poor, which is pretty much the same as regular Australian beef. 70% of seafood in Australia is imported. That's 200,000 tonnes annually. This makes it important to understand what the labels on your seafood are communicating. Responsibly sourced seafood means that the seafood is farmed or caught in a way that minimises environmental impacts and protects workers' rights, whereas sustainably sourced seafood is caught at a level so that it will be around in the future. The Marine Stewardship Council is a certification for fisheries. Their standards focus on sustainable fish stock, minimising environmental impact and effective fishery management. Look for this logo on wild-caught seafood and this one for farmed. Good Fish has created a website allowing you to see if certain seafood products have been sustainably sourced and even offer alternatives for those which aren't. So be sure to check out that link in the description below. The RSPCA Approved Farming scheme seeks to improve the lives of animals. They do this through the development of detailed animal welfare standards. Egg farms can be RSPCA approved even if they are not free range. This means that not all RSPCA approved farms allow outdoor access for their hens. Look for a stocking density of 1500 or less for hens and the words free range on the labels. The RSPCA prohibits toe trimming, but allows beak trimming when it is considered necessary. Approved pig farms with the label free range must give the pigs outdoor access after the weaning of the piglets. Sows and boars always live outdoors. The RSPCA also accredits labels such as bred free range or outdoor bred raised on straw pork, so be sure to check that it has the free range label. Editing Ollie here, just reminding you that the RSPCA Approved Farming scheme is used for marketing, and ultimately it is just to get you to buy the product. I recommend doing more research into RSPCA farms because it's not that different from most of the other bad ones. Alright, bye. It should be noted that producers will usually pay for certification assessments, which can be expensive for small-scale operations. Just because they lack funds doesn't mean that these farms aren't as sustainable or as welfare conscious as their certified counterparts. If you ever find yourself wondering what a label means, don't be afraid to look it up. Ultimately, if you decide to buy a product without a certain label, that's your choice. An informed decision is always a good one. Be sure to check out my other videos in this series, and thank you for watching. Bye.